You know, the second I start recording this video, these people over there start building a house. Of course, they've been building the house for a few days, but of course now they decided to do loud noises. So I apologize in advance on all that noise over there. What is up, everyone? Jose here from Rivian Tracker. I'm sitting in my 2022 R1T Quad Motor Generation 1, which I'm going to be sadly trading in here in the next couple of days for my new Generation 2 Tri-Motor R1T. So in this video, I wanted to kind of give an exit interview on my truck, how it's performed over almost 3 years at this point. And yeah, let's talk through it all, the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to talk about wear and tear and all that good stuff. I was going to make this 2 separate videos, but decided to make it into one. There will be chapters down below where you can skip through if you don't want to hear me ramble on about something. And yeah, so let's get started. Let's talk about my Rivian. I'll talk to you about everything that has, you know, like happened. I'll be fully transparent with you in terms of, you know, the good, what's been awesome about it, the bad, and truthfully the ugly. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. Let's talk. 50,000 miles on my Rivian R1T, driven primarily highway, town, city. You know, we've done my wife and I have done a couple of road trips and stuff like that. And it has been a delightful vehicle to own. And it sounds so weird to be talking about this because it's like, oh, I'm giving away my Rivian, or I'm getting rid of my Rivian. But the truth be told is I'm getting another Rivian. But I wanted to kind of talk about ownership experience with this, and some wear and tear situations, service experience, and all that good stuff, because these are valid things that people need to be aware of when owning a Rivian vehicle, or any vehicle really. But you know, being a focus on Rivian, I want to talk about that. So let's talk about just general ownership. It has been a tremendous vehicle to own. I have been very lucky, and I knock on wood every day, that I have not experienced a lot of issues or problems with my truck, unlike some other people that unfortunately I come across on the internet, or who reach out to me, or, you know, talk to me, whatever it may be. So I'm very grateful. I have an early 4,000 VIN R1T from 2022, and I got it May 2022 is when I got it, when Rivian reached out and said, hey, your truck is ready to pick up. Midnight black with black and mountain interior, with the 20-inch all-terrain wheels and all that good stuff. Since then, I've wrapped it. I've obviously changed out the wheels and tires. These are just different things I've done in order to change up the appearance, but as well as be able to create content and report back to you. And I just recently shared a 20,000 mile video on my Nokian Outpost tires, which I have currently running on this truck, which are great tires, by the way. So yeah, I've had the Rivian. My wife and I have done many road trips with it. We went up to New England recently. We did a 2-week, almost 4,000 mile road trip up there. We've driven all around Florida. We've driven up to North Carolina, to the Asheville area. And yeah, so we've done a couple of road trips in that time frame, with even more road trips planned in the near future with the Generation 2 Tri-Motor R1T. Like Christmas lights, not Christmas lights, but holiday lights just came on. Anyways, yeah, squirrel, right? So I have had one major issue with my truck. You know, when talking about service, I have, you know, in the very beginning had some small little issues with alignment, and some of the trim pieces were coming off. I had a emblem that was broken. Rivian took care of all that, right? They replaced it. They did. I brought it in to the service center. At that time, they still were not doing a lot of mobile service appointments, so I had to bring it in. Luckily, we have a service center here in Orlando, so we were able to do it. Shout out to that team, because they are great. And yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend. And so, yeah, we've done, we had one major issue really that required the truck being away from me for maybe like a week or longer. And that was my wife and I came back with some friends from California, and so we had left the truck in the airport for a few days. And when we came back, I went to, turn the vehicle on, and it threw a bunch of errors, right? It was saying HVAC issue, do not drive, battery, stuff was happening. I said HVAC, I meant high voltage battery. And so it was throwing errors and all that. The vehicle moved, but it was with a constant pinging noise, this sound that was just annoying and existed the whole drive home, which was about 40 minutes. And so there was just nothing we could do about that. That was just the reality. I had called Rivian. Rivian was like, well, we can come a tow truck to pick it up, but we were inside a parking garage and the vehicle did move. And even though it said, the way we were able to approach it was that the message didn't say stop driving, right? It said take it to your nearest service center. So clearly it wasn't a fatal issue that was like, oh no, stop driving the vehicle. It was more of just something was going on. Who knew? So anyways, take it to Rivian. Rivian handles it. Turns out that they had to replace the HVAC system, which had accumulated moisture or water inside of it. And it was a design in early Rivian models that has been fixed since. And so they retrofitted the HVAC in my vehicle, the AC unit, with the proper one. And it has not been a problem since then. That was my big issue, right? That's been like the big service issue. Beyond that, general ownership has been great. Every month, new software updates come out, and every month my vehicle and your vehicle gets changes, right? Changes happen. It gets better. Sometimes it gets worse. That's just the reality of it, right? Sometimes we get bugs. We've experienced a couple of bugs here and there that were showstoppers, or maybe like it felt like a downgrade. But the Rivian team does really listen to what's going on, and so they will in general accept the feedback and make changes as necessary. So anyways, the software aspect is great. Driving the vehicle feels phenomenal. It is a great truck. Driving around in town is wonderful. In the early days of owning a Rivian, because I was one of a few that had a Rivian first and foremost in Central Florida, it was a showstopper. Everyone stopped me to ask questions. Now that's less likely to happen. We still get the occasional, hey, who makes that? Rivian. Who's that? Who makes it? It's Rivian. You probably are aware of this. And so we, a lot of the questions like that appear. So we don't get that many of those, although occasionally we still get someone that stops and is like, I'm interested in that truck. What is that? But now that there are more and more on the road, which is great, it becomes less of a excitement, I guess you could say. Still exciting to me to drive it every single day. I look for reasons to drive it. I work from home, so I don't necessarily have to go out very often. So I look for reasons to drive it because I love doing so. And that's why I enjoy doing like road trips and whatnot, because it's fun. And so talking a little bit of road trips, let's talk about that and the charging experience. When I first got the truck, we didn't have access to Tesla Supercharger network, so we had to rely pretty much on CCS charging infrastructure in the United States, which, as you all know, is not the best, right? So we had to rely on Electrify America, and we didn't really have any Rivian Adventure Network locations that were, near me. So we had to rely on being able to do Electrify America, EVgo, right? All the fun CCS networks that exist out there. We road tripped a little bit using that, and it was very scary, and I say scary because you just didn't know if you arrived at the location if it was going to be reliably something that you could charge at. And so we were unsure how much we would really enjoy road tripping, not being able to use the Tesla Supercharger network coming from a Model Y that we used to own. Fast forward, today, we have access to this Tesla Supercharging network. And the reality is that Tesla Supercharging network is superior to everything else that exists right now. Now, Rivian is doing a great job of building out their Rivian Adventure network very slowly. We got a location here open in Florida in Daytona Beach last year or earlier this year, I don't remember. And that was great. But that's it, right? That's the only one we have, and that's an hour and a half away from me, so I don't really get to experience that often. Whereas there are Tesla Supercharger networks, you know, within 5 minutes of me, there's like 3 or 4. So they're great. And being able to utilize them when charging has been awesome. Obviously, as you know, we have the adapters, right? You get the adapter. This is the official Tesla NACS adapter that you get. Everyone gets it with their Rivian vehicle. When you get it is a different question, right? I got lucky that I had an early VIN, so it was sent to me early. But I understand that it's been very random and all over the place. So that is, you know, a point in the bad column, so to speak. Of course, you can go buy one today on the Rivian Gear Shop. That's a whole nother discussion about whether or not they should be selling that. I'm not going to get into it. So, anyways, that's kind of talking about this. So, other things with the truck. Like I said, software this is a computer on wheels. So software has been a pivotal point on these machines, right? Being able to update, being able to see improvements, whether it's changing out the way the graphics look with 3D cell shading, which happened, to being able to add cameras when you turn your blinker on, right? All these little things add up to a better experience. Of course, there are things that still need to be worked on. Yeah, Apple Music doesn't work very reliably, right? The UI, glitchy, a little buggy, laggy, stuff like that, right? These are the things that the team needs to work on, and they are very much aware of it. I wish that Rivian did a better job of communicating this type of thing. Sometimes I feel like I have to beg for that communication in order to be able to give it to you guys and share that information. And I struggle even with that. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get the information to be able to share with you guys. So I wish that was better, but that's more corporate than it is about this truck ownership. Regarding charging at home, I have the Rivian wall charger. Would I buy the Rivian wall charger again today? Probably not. I would probably head out and get the Tesla universal wall connector. That is a better bang for your buck, especially since the Rivian wall charger doesn't really do anything special, right? It doesn't really integrate with your vehicle that much at all in most cases. And I have Tesla Solar and Tesla Powerwalls. If I had the universal connector, that would integrate better with my home. So it's just, you know, hindsight 2020. If I were going to get it, I would get the Tesla wall connector today. That being said, the Rivian wall charger works really nice. I've actually had to have it replaced once because of an issue with it. It just would stop working. It would keep disconnecting anytime I would plug it in. It would charge my vehicle for a little while and then stop. They did some troubleshooting and turned out that there was some connectors inside that were bad. Rivian did replace that under warranty and send me a new one, which was a newer Gen 2 model of the wall connector. That is what I have today. It has been working flawless, so cannot complain about that. Regarding charging at home, this is a bigger battery vehicle than what I came from. Again, having a Model Y long range. This one is a large battery pack, R1T. 140 kilowatts or so. Don't quote me on that, but near there. So, you know, it is a lot more power or a lot more electricity. I jokingly always say this thing likes to drink electricity because I plug it in and, you know, I pull 14 kilowatts of charging per hour. And yeah, it will drink the electricity it is given. Not a bad thing, but it does take a while to charge, you know, usually overnight. To get with a level 2 charger at home to get to a reasonable state. You know, I keep my battery, my daily usage at 70% is my max, right? 70 to 80 is what's recommended. I keep it at 70 because I don't use more than that on a daily basis, and I feel like that is a good level to have it at. Should there be an emergency or something and I need to drive somewhere, or you know, whatever maybe, I think 70% is good, especially like I mentioned with charging infrastructure getting better, especially with access to the Tesla Supercharging network. You can absolutely use tools like, you know, a better route planner, Home Assistant, Teslafy, these kind of tools that will measure battery degradation, but, you know, take it all with a grain of salt because it is pulling data from the vehicle. It may not necessarily be accurate, but I can't really sit here and tell you, yeah, my battery's degraded 5% because I truly don't know the answer to that. there are so many variables for that. It's getting dark. Turn that light on. So there's a lot of variables for that. So I'm not going to sit here and it could vary, right? So. Okay, so you've probably a little tired of seeing my face, so let me just walk you through some of the things around the vehicle that wear and tear issues, quote unquote. So, I have broken this freaking cup holder 3 times. Now, you're asking, Jose, you're just putting in things, I don't know, heavy or whatever. Well, I have this third-party, cup holder thingy down here so I can put my big cups in. This is just where I put the smaller cups, and I have broken this 3 times. The first time Rivian came and replaced it free. The second time I took this whole thing apart and replaced it and fixed it. And now this is the 3rd time where it's broken. I have the piece somewhere in my center console. But it's just bad design, and that isn't really fixed in Generation 2. That's kind of an issue. So, yay. Charging, wireless charging. I have the Soonish charging thing, Matt. And I love it. It's great. They've done a phenomenal job with it. But why do I have to get a third-party replacement, right? Why? Why? Because Rivian can't make a functioning wireless charging pad. And Gen 2 is no better, to be honest. So I will probably have to get another third-party one there because, yay. Overall, the interior has held out pretty well. Seats, pretty good for the most part. Now, with that being said, I'm going to open the door and it's going to get loud. As you can see here somewhere, it hasn't quite broken into the leather, but as you can see some of this piece here has been replaced once before because this plastic piece broke because it's cheap plastic. I have been told this is fixed in Gen 2, so hopefully that will be better. I had to put this piece of like skateboarder tape, I don't know, whatever you call it, grip tape, because this stepping in and out has completely destroyed the paint here. So yeah, that's pretty bad. Again, not really resolvable in V2 or Gen 2, but I wish this was fixable. This thing has been an issue since day one. It just never wants to properly be in place. I had Rivian replace it once upon a time, and here we still are. Yeah, early gen, I think that should be fixed in V2 or Gen 2, but who knows. But as you can see, like, it's just scuffed up, but it's gonna happen, right? This is a vehicle designed to take a beating. It is what it is. Let's take a look. Oh, let me show you this one. This trim here, it's plastic, painted chrome or whatever, has taken a beating. Same here. Just this is gonna be a 0 issue in the next truck, so that's fine. But that sucks. I wish it was better, but it is what it is. Let's take a look in the back seat. Things have handled much better back here because I don't typically keep a lot of things. I did have this, but this is a user error. We had some boxes. We were helping a friend move, and unfortunately that took a beating. That's what I get for being nice, I guess. But that's a Jose error, not a truck error. Under the seat storage is great. I love it. I keep a bunch of cables and stuff down there. So that has been a great tool to have. The gear tonneau, again, not an issue. I love it. We use it. These sharp edges I wish could be better, but guess what? That's not really a thing that gets resolved in version 2, so just kind of have to deal with it. The tonneau cover, you guys, zooming out here. This tonneau cover is still the OG tonneau cover. It has not been replaced. I've actually had a ticket with Rivian open for months, but I have not heard back from them. It works when it wants to, and it stops working when it wants to. I've done videos on lubricating the rails, maintaining it. I clean it all the time. It has some scratches on it because things get caught and then it gets sucked into the holding in the back there, and yeah, it just, unfortunately, it happens. There's nothing we can do about it. Supposedly this is better on the Gen 2 tonneau. We'll see. This trim piece back here was replaced. I had to pay out of pocket for that. Warranty did not cover it. It snapped out, as it often happens when you are trying to take things out of the truck. This just snaps. it's loud. We're gonna get back in the truck now and I'll finish talking. Some other miscellaneous things are hood alignment. So the hood is not, it doesn't align correctly. It's never aligned properly. So you can really tell when you're looking at these lights, you can really tell when you're looking outside from it how badly aligned it is. And it's been such a non-issue to me because the vehicle works fine that I don't care. But to some people, I could see that being a problem. I completely understand that. Charging port door has been adjusted once, but unfortunately, it's still like every time you close it, it catches on the light a little bit, and so it scratches the paint off the door. You can't see it because it's on an edge corner, but still, these are little things that should be hopefully improved in Gen 2. And again, it might just be an early generation 1 thing. And you're probably saying, well, Jose, you could easily get that fixed. And like I said, I have. It just has kind of gone back and broken again. Not gonna worry about it. Minor other little things other than that are, you know, the half shafts in the early days clicked. Rivian resolved that, right? That was an early Gen 1 issue. I think they still do weird clicking noises sometimes, but not as bad. So I've checked all the lug nuts in the wheels just to make sure, you know, that everything looks good there and everything is safe and secure, no issues there. I know some other owners have been impacted by that. So overall with those things, it's all good. I try to maintain and keep everything up to date. I try to look around, and you know, I wash my truck often, so I take care of it. I have taken it off-roading. You know, we've done a lot of sand trials and stuff like that, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's behaved. And there's sand in places in this vehicle probably I would never be able to find. So that's, you know, it is what it is. So I'm not too worried about that. But to the next owner, Godspeed. You'll probably find sand in places I haven't been able to get out of. So it has treated me so well. I cannot complain. My wife and I have been very lucky that this truck has behaved the way it is. I truly hope that the next person who has the opportunity to get this vehicle loves it as much as I do, because it has behaved well. It has had no issues, no major issues, right, that required it being out of commission for a long period of time. Just small little things here and there that are pretty typical with almost any car. So I'm not too worried about that. Looking forward at Gen 2, I'm excited. I really hope that whatever, you know, happens with that vehicle, everything behaves well. I get worried a little bit about hearing stories here and there, but fingers crossed that the Gen 2 R1T will behave as good, if not better, than this one did here. If I had to buy this truck today all over again, I would, without a hesitation. And I truly cannot recommend it enough. There are plenty of small issues here and there. I completely understand, right? There are people who can sit here and tell me all about how much they hate the fact that Apple Music doesn't work correctly because the volume control levels are all the way. I get it. We could sit here and complain that the gear tunnel door is too sharp and oh my God, I hurt myself. I get it. The tonneau cover sucks. I get it. But I think the positive outweighs the negative by a lot. And you could probably be thinking, well, yeah, Jose, you're a Rivian fanboy. Of course you're saying that. But when I bought this truck, there was a good year there where I was not a Rivian fanboy. I was a normal owner, just like you. And so I felt the same way then as I feel today. If anything, yes, I do feel more invested in the company because I love the brand. Yes, I run Rivian Tracker and you know, so I have, you know, I want to make sure that the company has a good image and all that. But at the same time, if something is wrong, if something is bad, I will be transparent with you and tell you about it. You see, yeah, I'm a very much an open book when it comes to being online, especially on social media. So you're gonna know everything that's happening with me and my trucks. It will be the same way with the Gen 2. I will be open about it. If there's a problem, you're going to know about it. I'm going to record the whole experience through. Whereas it's different. When I bought this truck, it was a very different experience because I was just a guy buying a truck and that was it, right? There was nothing more to it. So it was just that simple. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a little long. Apologize for that, but I wanted to talk through all of the things that I've had, you know, experience, good, bad, ugly, It was kind of a mishmash everywhere, so I'm sorry about that. Not very well organized when it comes to talking about things. I just kind of I have notes, but then I remember things, and I'm like, oh, let me talk about it now before I forget. So that's it, guys. That's this truck. 52,586 miles. I'm reading on the odometer there. Is how many miles I have as of this video. They'll probably get a little bit more miles until the new truck comes in, but that's fine. And yeah, I'm excited to see what my next adventure holds. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, leave your comments below. Did I miss something? Is there anything you want me to talk about? I'll be hanging out in the comments. I can always you know, reply there or release another video with anything I may have missed. So until next time, peace.